Welcome again to my page and channel. This morning we are going to discuss the direct variation. If you watched my last video on variation, you will see that I have discussed the introductory aspect of this topic variation to give you a solid foundation in order to excel in some subsequent episodes of the videos I'm going to make on the topic variation. A brief recap: variation is just a kind of relationship that exists between two or more quantities, in such a way that a change in one of the quantities will bring a corresponding change in the other quantity. That is just variation for you. It's just a relationship. All right, and I gave so many examples pertaining to this topic, variation. Please, I beg you, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my Facebook page. Also, like my Facebook page, please. Ensure even if you followed me, try and like my Facebook page so that I can get more audience. Together we shall end mass phobia. All right, so this morning we are to discuss direct variation. And if you still remember, I told you that for a variation or for the relationship that is existing between two or more quantities to be direct, it means that an increase in one quantity will bring about a corresponding increase in the other quantity. In the same vein, a decrease in one quantity will bring about a corresponding decrease in the other quantity. A good example is that when you have the more money you have, the more goods you are able to buy. So when you have like 20 naira, let's say it can help you to buy a pen. If you have 40 naira, you will buy 2 pens. 60 naira, you will buy 3 pens. So you can now see that the more money you have, the more the number of pens you'll be able to buy will increase also. Also, if your money is too small, the number of pens you can buy will also be too small. That is just a direct relationship. Okay, now look at this question. The question says that if x varies directly as y and x is 2 when y is 6, find x when y is 10. This time around, they told us that there is a relationship that is existing between x and y. And in that relationship, that x is 2 and y is what? 6. They now want you to find what x will be when y is now 10. The most important thing you need to know here is that this is a direct variation. They mentioned it. And because it's a direct variation, you can see that y has increased from 6 to 10. It implies that x must increase from 2 to something. So if you get a value less than 2 or equal to 2, it means you are wrong, because for y to have increased from 6 to 10, it means that x must increase from 2 to something above 2. Even if it is 3, there must be an increment, because in direct variation, an increase in one quantity will bring about a corresponding increase in the other quantity. Okay, then again, in variation, no matter the type of variation you are talking about, there must be a constant. That constant is just the quantity that will remain the same for the relationship that exists between two or more quantities to continue to hold. For instance, now you know that if you have 20 naira, you can buy 2 pens. If you have 40 naira, you can buy, sorry, if you have 20 naira, you can buy 1 pen. If you have 40 naira, you can buy 2 pens. If you have 60 naira, you can buy 3 pens. What if there is inflation in the economy? You will now see that even if you have 100 naira, that 100 naira will not be able to buy even a pen when there is inflation. And in that inflation, you can see that the price of a pen may increase from 20 naira to something more than 20 naira. You can see that when such thing happens, that relationship is no longer existing, because there is no constant. Nothing remains the same. A good example is that for in inverse variation, when you have more workers, they will finish their job in lesser time. When you have less workers, they will finish their job in more time. That is inverse. But this relationship might not be so. If I call 1,000 sick persons that can't even work, you see that I have more men, but the time it will take them to finish the work will be too long because they are weak. But you can see that 2 hefty men can finish the work in lesser time. Therefore, we are not considering men of equal strength. So the constant should be that the men you are going to get must work at the same rate. That is the constant. Therefore, in any kind of relationship, in any kind of variation you are working, you must first of all get the constant before you can solve the question. All right, now let's go to this question. We are told that x varies directly as y. Look at the sign of variation. So this thing can be read as x varies directly as y. Okay, now to remove this sign of proportionality, you must introduce the constant. So if you remove the proportionality, you introduce k. K is the constant, ky. So this is the constant that relates x and y. Hence, if I want to get this k, I will divide both sides by y so that k will stay alone. You can see that this y is affecting k. So for me to make this my k to stay alone, I will divide both sides by y so that k will stay alone. You can now see that the value of my k is now x all over y, as you can see here. And what is my x? Initially, my x is 2. Okay, so I have 2 over, what is my y? My y is 6. I will now have 6. 2 divided itself is 1. 2 divided 6 will give us 3. So the constant of this relationship is just 1 over 3. That is the constant. Now you can now write, remember initially we said that x is equal to ky, which means our x is now equal to k. My k is no longer k, but my k is now 1 over 3. So I will now use this 1 over 3 to replace k. I can now write that x is 1 over 3 times y. Alright, k is now 1 over 3 times y. Now, to get my x, because the question says find x when y is 10. This time around, y is 10. So let us get x. So to get x, this is the formula relating x and y. We call this the formula relating x and y. And it is this formula that relates x and y that you can use to get whatever you want to get. Right? So now to get my x, I will now say when y is now 10. Let us see what x will be. So x will now be 1 over 3, as you can see. Once I see y, I will put 10. So we have 1 times 10 is 10 all over 3. If you divide 10 by 3, you will get 3 whole number 1 over 3, or 3.33. This is a recurring decimal. Alright, so you can now see that when y increased from 6 to 10, x increased from 2 to 3.33. As you can see, that is a direct relationship. It is what we experience every now and then in our daily lives. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, share this video, comment, and ensure that it gets to every student around you. Let us end mass phobia together. Thank you so much.